Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for the weekend of March 14th, 2026. Thank you for joining me. Hit that like and subscribe button on the way in as we look at current conditions, weather conditions, and temperatures in the lower 48 United States. I appreciate your support, ladies and gentlemen, here. National Weather Service current hazards. We have a plethora of colors and conditions and warnings focused on the nation's heartland from Texas up into the upper plains and all the way to the Canadian border. And what it is basically we have a bunch of dry air in the south, red flag warnings in the middle of the country, and then we also have the cold air way up in the north here from the Twin Cities, a blizzard warning from the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Pierre, South Dakota, back into Des Moines, Iowa, and the Quad Cities of Illinois, into the UP Upper Peninsula of Michigan. In that red, that's a blizzard warning, winds exceeding 35 miles an hour, low visibility for 3 hours or more, and blinding snow. This is going to include if you're traveling I-90, 94 coming through Tomah, Wisconsin, into the Twin Cities here, Rice Lake, Wisconsin, Green Bay, all these cities, Iron Mountain, back towards Marquette, Houghton, Michigan. These cities are going to be impacted by a blizzard warning starting today and into Sunday, March 15th, 2026. Now, red flag warnings extending south from DFW, Oklahoma City, Norman, Enid, the Oklahoma Panhandle, into the Texas Panhandle, Amarillo, and Pampa, southward. We also have those in brown, high wind warnings in effect in brown. This includes cities like Wichita, Topeka, Kansas, back into Kearney, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, back toward the I-76 corridor in eastern Colorado, towards Denver, and Fort Collins. It's also where we have some snowfall coming in there as well, with red flag warnings in the higher elevations there. There's winter weather advisory for the northern Rockies here. This includes places like Boulder, Fort Collins, back into Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I-25 is going to be treacherous. Yellowstone National Park into Montana, Bitterroots, and the other chains, the Wasatch. Snow is going to be continuing in these areas through Sunday, March 15, 2026. Now, out west, we have red flash flood warnings for southern Arizona. The monsoonal flow continues for Tucson, Phoenix, the Oro Valley, back towards Wickenburg, Arizona, back toward Blythe, Arizona, and into I-10, Indio, Palm Springs, down to 110, Cathedral City. All those areas are going to be experiencing Beaumont in California, flash flood warnings in deep red here. And even into Southern California here, this includes north of San Diego. So once again, places like the Channel Islands, Los Angeles, Simi Valley, Ventura County, Ojai, Oxnard. Those areas are going to be Santa Barbara. Those areas are going to be in the flash flood warnings for Sunday, March 15, 2026. So keep that in mind. Now, we also have heat advisories for San Diego in orange here, light orange. This includes San Diego, Oceanside, and those areas along I-5, and then up to the Bay Area. We're looking at San Francisco, Tracy, Stockton, Lodi, back towards areas north of the valley, Concord, Vallejo. You're going to be in that heat advisories for temperatures exceeding 90 degrees. On the East Coast, it looks pretty clear on the I-95 corridor, but we do have in brown, we have a high wind watch for the Boston, Quincy, Massachusetts area, back toward Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, and also on the Tokyo Plateau, Watertown, up toward the Canadian border here with Montreal, and then also down south here towards south of Buffalo, the I-90 corridor, Turnpike here with Erie, Buffalo, and Hamburg, and those areas too. So that's what we have National Weather Service hazards. Now look at temperatures for tomorrow, Sunday, March 15, 2020. These are the high temperatures. You can see it's still going to be relatively warm in the east side. 74 degrees for a high in Columbus, 73 degrees Fahrenheit for a high in Atlanta, 80 degrees Fahrenheit for Miami, 80 degrees Fahrenheit for DFW, 91 degrees Fahrenheit for a high tomorrow in Phoenix, 86 degrees Fahrenheit for a high with those warm ridging temperatures for Los Angeles. What's going to be cool is in the Pacific Northwest, 47 degrees Fahrenheit for a high temperature tomorrow on Sunday for Seattle, and cool in the upper Midwest, 31 degrees Fahrenheit for a high in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities. Only 8 degrees Fahrenheit for Fargo. And then we have that transition here as we battle with spring here. The first official day of the spring equinox is March 21st. That's coming up very soon here in about a week's time. Looking at the GFS models, courtesy of TropicalTidbits.com, you can see right now this is the pattern for the next 6 hours here, heading into Sunday here. Snow in the upper tier here, but as I advance the picture forward here, as we go into Monday, you're going to see the system develop here. A deepening low pressure, 978 millibars, comes across the Great Lakes here, providing all of that snow once again from Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, southeast Minnesota into Chicago. Snow is going to be in there Monday morning, March 16th, and then rain is going to trail here all the way into the Gulf Coast states. Heavy rain could be possible on thunderstorms for cities like Huntsville, Nashville, Jackson, Tennessee, and Tupelo, Mississippi. As we advance it through Monday here, you can see the frontal boundary makes its way through here. Strong cold air pushes in the back on Tuesday here, and snow could be possible here once again for the I-95 corridor. This includes cities like Baltimore, D.C., Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey, possibly into New York and Adirondack, the Catskills, into Canada here. As you can see, a deepening low pressure racing off here, and the rain on the extreme eastern side of that here on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, March 18th, everything clears out here, and we're left with cold air here in the wake of that on Wednesday here in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast and the upper Midwest, but heavy ridging out west. Notice this warm ridging out here, out west here. This is going to continue here with heavy, high temperatures exceeding the norm, maybe 5, 10, 15 degrees above average of cities like Denver, Colorado, Salt Lake City, back into Mountain West and into the high plains here into Oklahoma City. As we advance it through Thursday here, you can see things clear out, and then we go to a more zonal flow here with the heat expanding eastward here. The jet stream retreats here, and the extreme cold weather is backed up into New England states here. And then we have this low pressure off this coast of Florida here, but we also have these warming temperatures starting to moderate here by Friday, March 20th here, the first day of spring almost here. You can see the temperatures moderating here for most of the country, and then on next Saturday, March 21st, you can see most of the precipitation is gone, besides in the Pacific Northwest and the Great Lakes. Some lingering lake effect rain showers continuing, but most of the country warms up. As you can see, the zonal flow here and moderates as the jet stream retreats north into Canada, and there's just a few little cool areas here in northern New England, particularly for New Hampshire, Maine, and Boston, could be experiencing below normal temperatures next Saturday on March 21st, 2026, the first day of spring, meteorological spring. So, looking at the current radar here, courtesy of the National Weather Service here, you can see I say that snow showers here. Heavy to moderate snow falling right now in South Dakota, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Light to moderate snow into Wisconsin here. This will only intensify as we head into Sunday into Monday here as the system passes by here. So that's where the snow is going to be. And the wind is going to be blowing and drifting snow. It's going to be that zone north of Milwaukee and Madison here, more toward the UP of Michigan, and that zone north of Minneapolis, St. Paul, back over toward northern South Dakota. That's going to be the zone for heavy snow, blowing winds. Blizzard conditions can happen anywhere in there, but that's where the heavy snow accumulation is going to be for blowing and drifting snow. So there's something to keep in mind in that area here. As you can see here, the precipitation, that's where our zone is going to be for today, Saturday night, into Sunday morning, all day Sunday, and then to just barely into Monday morning. Things should improve, and things should be moving away from this area here as far as the forecast models have been showing. This has been the Weather Guru Podcast, signing off for the weekend of March 14th, 2026. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.